player. The player with different accolades. I'm a maestro. I'm a wizard. I'm polo to polo. I'm wonder boy. I'm player extraordinaire. I'm scientist footballer. Different accolades. And you are in the country. I became a coach from showing to the whole Ghana public that this man, after football, he will become a coach because I became a coach player.
And Sunday, my fair clock. Where Danike? My fair clock gali. Nibaposto. When you have to take a boboli, you have to look of you. Bobon was it.
Chicago, no, Nagbe, some of you by Miniba.
Oh, Messi, I can hear your yake into machine, Bami, or local fee. Oh, local back. My name into machine. My often bow and tower lager or you.
Oh, look, fine. And I was on a ship of Lingalangako. A year won't know me, will expect you fine. Into 7 years. No go buy here fine. She may go make a poison. Only tree but for few shinami.
Coaching is putting your thinking into action. That is what coaching is about. Now, I studied them, I showed them, I revisited the match they played against us. Then I saw that we gave them enough space to operate because they are full of techniques. The boys, the 14, 20, 10, 8, 12. Very with the ball when you give them space. So we try something called tracking and getting free. Track them, get free and play. So we deny them the space for them to maneuver.
In terms of power play, it's zilch. If you watch our game against Mali, the young man was running away from taking the ball. He didn't want it. Give me away. He was practically running away. When we were being marooned and we were under attack from the Malians, and he had the opportunity of staking a claim in the team. Anytime an attempt was made to him with the ball, with the pass, he's running away, leaving the ball, hiding behind the opponent. This whole Telemundo is like it's something that sometimes
for the uninitiated, Telemundo is a channel that shows telenovelas.
Yes.
So this is like a soap opera.
It's like a soap opera. This clearly is a soap opera. It's winding down. So let's call Extremadura man from Extremadura man. Mola. When the ball is coming to the player, he's running away. You know what's the game? And shockingly, there's a certain miraculous acrobatism.
Shakira. Charlie, no, I like the last two. Give me the conclusion. Oh, Charlie. My two minus and my hips don't lie. Oh, Charlie. Too much. Oh, Tusha. Perfection. Oh, Tusha, you are perfection. Oh, Charlie. One more line. Oh, Charlie. I say, oh, my two minus and my hips don't lie.
Oh, we were there, then we heard that Cote d'Ivoire have demanded $20,000 before they play the World Cup. So we was like, damn, this is the first time we qualify for World Cup. So we did the meeting. I, John Mensah, Stephen Appiah, Bafuojan, Sami Kofo, and the Yusuf Chipsa was the accountant, you know. So he was with a pen, you know. We are 5 there. Someone and the other guys were there. So we was like, come on. So what do? We qualified for first time. We are going to play Italy. Kai, you know, our guys say we can't beat Italy. Come on.
I see. No, Mr. said, Master son players are cooked about Mamma Tim Master. Players are better, Master son. Tim Lanoy shit. Tim Udia players in Mammy. Sakim Siege. Where? Sakim Siege. Aha. Timo Werner. What's that? Timo Werner. Aha. Caves. Why? Carlos Munya, Yasamu. Is a sister seculator, Munya more. Sister seculator, only more. A year, I must say, a Brazil anyway. Yasano. That's any bay. Said Silver, so I Silver. Aha, Silver Silver. Is it
me, the Felix, you will get stand. My son will say, me Adam, I don't leave my job, go marry. No, you see, I don't leave my job, go marry.
So you refuse to they punish them.
They're not the punishment, it's self right. No, it's not the punishment. See, we choose love over job. That is exactly what you do. Because see what Ichirata do. And football no day, Ichirata go marry. Yeah. So with the footballer, see, from August 2019 to December 29, we don't play football. No marry. We start late after we fall. He said they go marry.
That be the time where money catch.
No. So you choose love over career. And so if today you get your lover, the coach say they give you more time to go chop love. So it's not a big deal. Me, I guess that I thought that this matter.
Does Don Botte still want to play football? You are 36 years old.
Forget about the age.
We cannot forget about the age, Don. You are 36.
Yeah, 36. You doubt 36. In me, forget about the age. What you want me to come and do for you?
You still think you can perform at the highest level?
Why?
In Ghana?
Yeah. Not in Ghana, sir.
Anywhere?
Yeah.
You train?
Serious.
By yourself?
Always.
Why don't you want to join the club and train?
You see, that's what I'm saying. Them themselves, they don't believe themselves. The coaches don't believe themselves. They are not real coaches. They don't. You have to believe yourself that no, this guy can do it for me. If you believe me, I can do it. But so far as you just relax yourself, no. If I come safe, I won't get that spirit because you don't believe me.
So you think that if a Premier League team were to give you an opportunity to play, you would make an impact?
Ghana, yeah.
Yes.
I can play past all the current players.
The
current players in Ghana Premier League.
That's a serious statement coming from somebody who hasn't played in almost a year.
You know something? I know myself. That's why I said, if you don't know me, you don't know me.
You see, as for a game, like when you get a chance, every blessed player will decide to score, and then will decide to catch the ball. So when you both decide together, then you make a chance. I decide differently, and he also decided differently, and our decision was together. That's why he was able to catch the ball. So I think next time I'll raise my head and let the goal post and put the ball.
You have 3 or 4 phones. What messages have you been receiving?
I haven't even read them because they keep on coming. I think that I have to turn one of the phone off.
You haven't read any of them? Messages?
No, not at all. Look, they still calling. Phones are calling.
Odum has blamed the grass for his defeat. The sun when it came out, the sun when it went down, the rain when it fell, the rain when it didn't fall, the pole because it was too rusty, the net because some part was torn, his opponent because their fans were shouting.
Are you saying that Odum blames everything, the elements
by himself?
It is
never his fault. In fact, some famous Odum interview, he said that, listen, he said that the team lost because the defenders know. They were supposed to be playing 3 back. And when they are in transition, they are supposed to go for it, but they were not going for it. And I was telling them, go for it, and they were not minding me. And now I'm very, very disappointed in my place.
You are really wrong for this. You are wrong for this.
It's that time again. Friday night is here. Benjamin Nketia is here. Sports Panorama is live. Proudly brought to us by Betway and Good Day Energy Drink. It's been not a very happy week. Yeah. Everything happening in Turkey with Christian Atsu. It's made the week, I don't know. We'll try and see if we can give a brief update on that. Who will be Ghana's next head coach? Talking about the Black Stars. Ghana's next batch of AFCON qualifiers come off on the 20th. No coach in sight. We'll try and see if we can make some sense of this as well. And then, of course, there's Premier League action this weekend. Some very interesting games coming up. Daniel Kofi Tre, he has suffered a season-ending injury. See if we can touch on that briefly as well. If you're a basketball person, it was a historic week. LeBron James ascending to the top of the tree. Record scorer for the regular season in the NBA, surpassing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I saw all the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar face memes. Charlie. Kareem must stop that. All that and more coming up on the show. Nathan Kwao is here. Evans Ofochu Manso, one-time top scorer in the Spanish La Liga. Pichichi.
Charlie.
One-time top scorer in the Spanish La Liga.
You know, that one is still at home, so I can confirm that.
Next time, you need to bring it onto the show for us. You know, just for the record. Susu Graham is here. And then, of course, Ni Abba.
Eneme.
Charlie.
Neke. Nakafiole.
Rabbi.
Eneme.
Ni Abba.
Eneme.
Ni.
Onapo.
Kewabotemi.
You wa one double shie. Okay, be she. Menesoa ni masoa na masoa. No bale woba. Walake Ghana mamu fe kralu. Ame fe kralu. Ame babu wotwe.
Babu twe.
Ni twena babu wo twa be tweboloy. Won panye fai mo fiamo. Afe kralu lele. Mane gbine. Okay, yowa. Gbelema woda. No gbele wodremo. No we wale. No wo yue. Yowa. Shidambo Olake no fiano ni wonyeno. Christian Chucho me. Yowa olake watemo ko bejemo. Olake. Yesu ba me. Eye wale.
Amen.
Ke onini. Amoy me. Hale mumo. No fiano ehia keshin wonyemi ni ba che no. Koni woni na hye no hwehwe ye wala me. Yowa waka wo hyiabo. Waka wo hyiabo boji nyumo manche mia manche.
Amen.
Jomole. No tay. Agbene ni wo gbenu na. Aka Ghana Premier League akọ ina no na. Chimi no ni mi na. Ina no ko. Yowa no ni bo na. Akọ po ne. Akwe no mo. Be fi ake ke to kreku ehingbe hwila Belemo ingbe ne nano ni sake na nye dimosho ba ne tuni ya no kwale me. Wole ake bi no wa gbe program na anwe. Ugbele ya achi o manche yele aba ya Yesu ba me.
Amen. 0549-986-996 0549-986-996. That's how you can interact with us here on the show. My name is Benjamin Nketia. You head coach Christopher Nimley these days prefers to go by the name Ni Abba.
Ni Abba.
Hey, behave yourself. Betway, say you should get ready for a chance to win big in the Betway Atenakesia jackpot. Pick 17 with only 1 CD 50 pesos, and you could win 16.5 million Ghana cedis. You heard that right. You can also play the item 13 jackpot with just 1 CD to win 270,000 Ghana cedis or play the tap-in jackpot with only 50 pesos to win 5,000 Ghana cedis. Weigh your jackpot muhene into diwohene. Deposit via Betway Top Up. Top up at any Momo vendor near you. Top up is free of any charges. For more details, visit betway.com.gh. No under 18. Betway for the love of the game. Let's get into talk of Christian Atsu. So we heard on Monday that following a wave of earthquakes in Turkey, he, after scoring his debut goal for Hatay Sport Club, went back to his apartment, and then that's when disaster struck. So he's still missing as we speak. His agent, as things stand now, is in Turkey. His family and friends have also asked that the Turkish authorities expedite action in terms of trying to get him out from under the rubble. We are holding out hope that all is well with him. PGT, just quick updates on the Atsu situation. There was some confusion earlier. It was sorted out, and now we seem to have fresh updates. What's going on with that particular situation?
Well, so basically, we understand that yesterday, there was a thermal camera sent to where he stayed. In Turkey, he stayed at the Hatay Renaissance Residence. It's I'm told it's a very high building, and it spreads over a very large area. So that's where he stayed. So yesterday, to confirm that yes, people are still under the rubble, they sent those thermal cameras there, and there was evidence that clearly human life is still under the rubble. So that was confirmed by the Turkish media and well covered on CitiSportsOnline.com as well. Today, the search is still ongoing for him. Hopes have not been lost at all. I'm told over 1,000 personnel are still on the grounds searching for Christian Atsu. We heard from his wife also speaking to the BBC, and basically saying that she's not giving up on Christian Atsu. She's praying and she's quite hopeful that Atsu is still alive. And all that they want at the moment is that the Turkish government will expedite the sort of search for Atsu and other victims. At the moment, we are told that 23,000 people have passed on from the earthquake since Monday.
According to CNN sources.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Since Monday. So it's still counting. Many are still injured. But his agent, we are told, is still in Istanbul. He went there days earlier to go and help in the search for the player. At the moment, it's quite difficult because of the weather condition also in Turkey. It's not been the best of weather conditions there. So it's making the search for the player difficult as well. But they are still ongoing. They are not giving up on Christian Atsu at all. And what I also know is that a teammate of Atsu in Hatay Sport, that's Sam Adekube, gave an interview where he spoke about the fact that Atsu was with him as late as 3 a.m. before he went home that evening before the earthquake started and all that. So there's quite some sort of positivity that he was with someone before he left for his place. At the moment, as to whether he was at his home before the incident happened or not, that's difficult to ascertain. But there's all positivity that he was at his home when the incident happened. It's just a matter of where he was when the incident happened now for them, and then and all that. But I was also with the family on Monday evening.
His mom?
His sister.
Okay.
On Monday evening. Because on Monday, we were told that he was rescued from the rubble and taken to the hospital. So as that Monday, they were quite optimistic and quite elated with the story until the twist on Tuesday where, once again, they had to go all the way back to square one to look for him and all that. But clearly, they were quite confused, as all of us are in studio. And as you said, we are all hoping that this story will have a very positive ending. It's not been easy for his family at all. Based on my checks with them, his wife, clearly from the interview, you could sense that all she was saying is time is running out. Time is running out. That's the key message that she was trying to send across, that time is running out, and that she's hopeful that he's still alive. They should try and just do something for Christian Atsu.
Let's listen to Christian Atsu's partner, and then we'll come back in studio, and then we'll see if we can make some sense of it.
Hugely worrying. Really, really enjoyed working with Christian. A great lad. Great.
Well, all I know is that currently his agent is in Turkey, and he's trying to get to the place where it happened. And we know that his building has been, they know where the building is, and they're trying their best to rescue everybody. And they know that there are people still under the rubble, but the problem is that they don't have the equipment necessary to get them out. So he's still missing, and we don't know where he is. Yeah.
And that's just an unimaginable feeling for you to have to wake up with every day and live with at the moment.
Yeah, especially for my children as well. So yeah. So it was quite shocking, as you can imagine, if the club is confirming, saying that he has been found and alive and taken to hospital. And 11 hours later, my children had to hear it from the radio saying that they still don't know where he is. And so I know that his agent is there and they are trying their best to find him. So I trust that he will bring me, obviously, the news that I can trust. That, if he sees him or speaks to him, So, but it's quite confusing, everything, yeah.
And can you tell us when you last had contact with him?
He spoke to the children last time on Saturday morning. Yeah, that was the last time that I've heard from him. I had a lot of missed calls on my phone from his sister, and then she just told me, and then I read the news. So, yeah. Well, all I can say is that, for me, I know the rescuers are trying their best, hard-working day and night to rescue everybody. And I just feel for everybody who has, like me and my children, been in the unknown, not knowing if the family is alive or not. And I would just appeal for the Citi Sports Club and the Turkish authorities and the British government to send out the equipment to get the people out that are still trapped in the rubble, especially for my partner and the father of my children as well, because they need the equipment to get them out. They can't get that deep without the equipment. So, and the time is running. So, yeah.
Yeah, the time is running out, but of course we have still seen dramatic rescues. People are still being pulled from the rubble. Does that give you some hope?
A bit, yeah. I still pray and believe that he's alive.
So you heard Claire Rubio there, partner of Christian Atsu. Says she's still holding out hope that her partner will soon be pulled out of the rubble. So that's the latest so far on Atsu. His agent is in Turkey. His partner has spoken up about him. His team have also said that he and sporting director Taner Savut are still under the rubble. And so that's where we are now. Let's move it on. 0549 986 996 0549 986 996. You can also get to me on Twitter. Tweet at me at Kojon Ketia. Use the hashtag Sports Panorama. Let's talk about the Black Stars a bit because they have an assignment coming up next month. But the big bit is that we still don't have a coach as far as the Black Stars are concerned. Now, I thought that based on a lot of what we were hearing, maybe Chris Hughton was primed to take over the job, being somebody who had been in the system already. If he was the preferred candidate, the hiring process would not have taken this long. But I want to believe that if the hiring process, and again, this is not a factual statement, I want to believe that if we were going to hire Chris Hughton, we would have hired him by now, and we would have a coach by now. That's what I think. The GFA say, and they indicated earlier that we would have a coach by the end of January. That deadline has elapsed. We still don't have a coach. They say that it is a very long bureaucratic process. Find a preferred candidate, negotiate salary with them, liaise with other stakeholders involved like government and the Ministry of Youth and Sports on salary, go back to the coach on the money ministry, the ministry or the government is willing to pay, and then eventually So yes, they would go back to the ministry, try and renegotiate, and then eventually we'll get a coach. But what I'm saying is, look, we have Angola on the 20th of March. That's the first leg. We have a second leg when on the 27,
28, one of those.
27, 28 coming up as well. It's clear that we are a team that isn't up there. And so, unlike others, we would have needed more time to acquaint ourselves with our new head coach, give the new head coach good enough time to see who he wants to pick for the upcoming qualifiers. That's if we don't think our core is already in place. But it's just baffling that for a team that exited the World Cup a long time ago, the World Cup is long behind us. 18th December or something of the sort. It's been almost 2 months and we don't have a head coach for the Black Stars.
And they knew Otoado was going. So it's not you can't even say that the World Cup ended 18th December.
They were armed with the knowledge that they would not have a coach after the World Cup.
We should have had a head coach from the moment the World Cup ended, because they knew he was going. We should have had that in place.
I'll come to you on that. Coach.
That is why. You remember the program I had here, or we had here with Prosperado, the General Secretary. You remember that program? You remember my stand that day? My stand was very simple. If you are a proper thinking FA, I repeat, if you are a proper thinking, the FA who's got vision, the FA who's got plan, the FA who's got system, structure in place, you will not gamble with the head coach of your senior national team. You will not write to FIFA and seek permission of a trainer scout to coach your team on a part-time base to the Mondial. I said on this program that we needed a coach who would stay with the Black Stars after the Mondial, because I knew that our team was not solid enough. I said, of all the teams we've taken to the Mondial, this was our weakest. I said it here. Therefore, think properly, think long term, and put the right man in charge. Let him take the team to the World Cup, because football will not come to an end after the World Cup. So that the moment the World Cup is over, that coach would have gotten a fair idea of the level of our players, what he needs, because there was no way to get people to believe that we're going to get to the semi-finals of the World Cup. As if we've not been there before. As if we've not experienced the World Cup before. As if we didn't know of the standard of the World Cup. Here we could look at Baba Ramame, Isayakume, Akewakame, your World Cup semi-finals. You have Ketu Kreku and Co. boldly declaring.
But they say you don't have Ronaldo and Messi, so you take Baba Ramame.
That is the insult I'm talking about. That is the insult I'm talking about. The incompetence, the arrogance, that I'm talking about from the FA people. No. Because how on earth could we imagine taking Otoado to the World Cup as the Black Stars head coach? Why did we do that?
Coach, he got us there.
He didn't get us there. He didn't.
He played a part.
That's it. He played a part in getting us there. So you put that aside. When we wanted when Keto Kreku, I repeat, when Keto Kreku wanted Otoado as coach, where did he go? No more, he will play. Otilo, straight to Germany. When he got to Germany, he did everything practically possible to make Otoado the head coach of the Black Stars, isn't it? What has kept the next appointment waiting? Why are we dealing with the next appointment? That, in my view, is the most important appointment.
They say we have over 1,000 applications?
Absolute. You see, they shouldn't. You see, no, Amaka Jomaka Shakra. They shouldn't joke with us. When you listen to them speak, at times you wonder, what are these people thinking? Meaning, solo bena me John Han, solo wo many watch wo John Han. Do we think differently at all? Because look, Nketia, as we speak today, I have said, don't give the job to anybody who was part of that technical team that took Ghana to the World Cup. That is my stand on the matter. Waka Otuado ete Chris Hughton Akwajen. Masawu Didi Dramani Akwajen. Moko Chamine Jebe Boateng Eka Benke Hikra.
You mean
he shouldn't get closer.
None of the people who took us to the World Cup needs to take over.
Because if you were to appoint any of them, the people at the FA will influence them. I'm telling you. Like they influence them at the World Cup.
You think Chris Hughton has not exemplified himself in that field?
No, but how?
I'm asking.
That's what I'm saying, that none of them should be given the job. Because these people, they will use them. They will influence them.
But what is the guarantee that outside that particular pool, whoever will be hired will also not be subject to the same influence?
That is, you see, anyone's more sunny. You ask intelligent questions. Unbelievable.
No, but I'm saying.
You see now, so you go to the system that has been put in place to appoint the next coach. Who are those doing the interview? Ketokriku Ifitai. Mimali. His part.
Oh, I mean, I think his influence will obviously be paramount.
As GFA boss,
his influence will be paramount in who gets hired.
No, but that is the mistake. That is the error. That is where the problem is. Because it is a job meant for the technical people. You may take coaching course here. Let him make coach down. He could sit on radio, door me to my song, and tell the whole world that he will influence every selection into our team. But he said that.
But you would also understand that we can't hire a coach without his input at all.
Input on what? Technical matters or what?
Either which ways. He will have an opinion one way.
He should have no opinion. His jurisdiction, his profession, what he's been mandated to do does not trespass into that technical area. That is why somebody like me, I was against the sacking of Otia Kente and Co.
He has taken up a new job as technical director.
Of course!
I think Bechem United.
Because the appointment of the Black Stars should be led by a technical team. You know? It should be led.
Technical. This is where Lepet comes in.
No. Ekpeche free, echun shele. Minechun. Umeni na nuchumoyo. Ekpeche free, Lepetre. What role is it? Because he doesn't even understand the Ghanaian player. For him to look out for a coach whose philosophy.
But hasn't he been here long enough to understand that?
Are you trying to tell me that Lepet understands the Ghanaian player better than Otia Kente?
Well, he says he has done a research on the Ghanaian football identity. So he's put all that into a documentation and a document and all that.
Yaira. Number one large.
I mean, oh Lord
Jesus. Yaira. What large? Because if we are waiting for Lepet to come and tell us that his research on the Ghanaian player perfectly describes the Ghanaian player, Yaira. What large? That is why people like me, I will continue to say it. We are being led by the wrong people. The wrong person is leading our football, and we need to change him. Because Nketia, like Soso just said,
but coach, this case,
why haven't we appointed them? By now they should be telling us that they've shortlisted the so-called over 1,500 applications.
Actually, we have
to
three. Yeah, we have a 3-man shortlist.
Yeah. Why haven't they done that?
I even think it's too late to be shortlisted.
Because
we knew.
Let's give them the benefit of the doubt.
Let's say worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario.
Yeah.
If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
No more what large. What large? We don't even know who the best three of the lot are. So that you and I will now be saying that, look, okay, it's Chris Hughton, Minijay identity. Is it Bim Bam or Bam Bim or Boom Bim Bam? Which is one? Mene Ashimashine, what are his identity? What does he believe in? How does his team play football? Will it suit our Black Stars? Will it bring the best out of the Ghanaian player? That's the sort of conversation we should be having here. We should not be still unsure of who the Black Stars coach is. If you had narrowed it down to 3, You and I will be sitting and say, look, of the three, I think this man or that man will be the perfect fit. No, we have a very young team who needs proper coaching, proper guidance, proper direction.
And we should have seen some sort of urgency, especially based on how our World Cup ended.
Exactly. The current FA administration, they are used to failing. No more failure, I'm a failure. They are failures.
I don't think they like failing. I don't think it's deliberate. I think they do what they can. Look, they just don't come up with
that
success.
Is embedded in their DNA. The act of failing is part of their chromosomes. It's embedded in their chromosomes. The act of failing is part of them.
Isn't that fair? Chromosomes.
Of course, it doesn't matter what you fail.
Scientifically, how can prove it? AFCON work pay, World Cup work pay, CHAN work pay, under 20 work pay, women's football under 17, Abani work pay.
I thought we won something. Under 20.
Under 20. That was 2.5 years ago.
23 tracking free and getting free.
Very, very with the ball.
Very, very with the ball. That was not palatable.
That was the last time they tasted success.
That was not palatable. You remember?
You complain about the nature of the football.
But the point, I mean, the end.
At least they ended up with the silverware.
Silverware. Abandon. Come on. I am telling you today. Me. I don't see anything good in this current administration because they have shown time and time again that they are so incompetent. No, so incompetent. What people are these? They don't care about what we think. They don't care about how we feel. They don't care about what we say. It is the Kets Okreku's way or nobody else's.
The man who his first term has not even ended, he wants an extension to a term. I think we'll get into that issue fuller, but
because
let's wrap it up.
In wrapping up, I'm telling him he should look at his legacy. If I was working for him and the legacy he has earned is the sort of legacy I have earned as an employer, as an employee of him, would he renew my mandate?
You mean he should take himself out of his current and look at himself from a third person view?
He is my employer.
If he was looking at himself from an outsider's view.
Coach Nimri, I've employed you, I've given you this mandate for you to make sure you execute. Per his performance, that is Coach Nimri's performance, wouldn't he slap the hell out of me when I come back and say, no, I sack all renew position? No, kaka fegmo. I know what boy. He will slap that. Are you serious? I should renew what?
You mean come on, get out of my office.
Get out quick, you fool! He will sack me. No, I mean Kelly. The football people will decide who the next FA president is.
But I also say that, I like that statement you make, because I say that, look, if football people, I mean, the outcome of the next GFA election will tell us really how football people feel about everything. Let's move it on. Let me come to Nathan on this whole coaching issue. Nathan, I mean, Susu raises a good point about knowing what should have been done, especially with Otto's intentions very clear after the World Cup. First of all, are you surprised that we have taken this long? And in your honest opinion, what do you think is holding this up, aside the stated bureaucracy that is being purported?
What is holding it up, I suspect, is politics. Really?
You mean somebody wants a certain candidate, somebody doesn't want this candidate?
That is part of the mix. And I also suspect that there could be, I won't call it, well, let me say resistance from the powers that be, i.e. probably from mainstream.
Don't forget that before Otto was appointed, there was a lot of resistance.
There was a lot of resistance. There was a tussle between government
and the GFA.
And the GFA.
But we have to also be honest.
Milo was the only drink on the table.
Let's
no more time. I just want to say something about the government and GFA thing. In serious countries, GFAs fund themselves. So why is it that we are here and FA has to go and cup in hand to our government all the time. Okay, clearly they failed to become self-sustainable, and that's another problem. But
this is how it works. So the FA technically runs on itself and money from FIFA. I get your point, and you do make a good point about running to the government all the time. It's because when there's national team assignment, then all of us remember that the national team is the state's property. So the state should give it. Of course, the state has to give money for the national team.
I got $100,000.
You understand? But it's over the years, we all know what's happened in terms of money, that kind of thing. But personally, I think one of the reasons could be a tussle between the government and the FA over who to pick. Because, like we all know, Mr. Chris Hughton had a lot of support from certain elements in the government. Mm-hmm. And then you had the GFA, whose candidate was Mr. Otuado,
the scout.
So that arrangement that we took to the World Cup was a compromise. And for all of us here in this parish, the understanding was that after the World Cup, Mr. Chris Hughton was jumping in, taking charge, and then moving the story on. But I'm quite surprised that days to the next round or weeks to the next round of an AFCON qualifier, we still haven't figured out who's going to lead the national team.
Somebody told me something. Nathan, before you continue. Somebody in the FA told me, so I won't mention the person's name. He says that Chris Hughton is putting some clauses in the contract to limit the influence of certain people.
Allegedly.
He doesn't even want to see certain people in the dressing room turn themselves into psychologists and come and speak.
You mean this might be part of the reasons why there's a hold up.
You limit the influence of certain people.
So for me, as for the politics, it's almost inevitable. But what concerns me is how we haven't come to a decision, knowing that the AFCON qualifiers will resume. Knowing that, you see, when you go to the World Cup and you experience the World Cup the way the Black Stars experience, the last thing you want is to break that momentum. When you experience such a World Cup, you quickly want to have somebody in to keep the engine running, to send a signal to the players that we like this crop. There's something good we've seen. We want to build on it. Because look at how the other countries have reacted to the World Cup. Portugal got rid of their manager very quickly. Other countries have made changes.
Managers resigned.
Managers walked away.
Even teams that didn't plan to change knew that their coach thought their coach would be there after the World Cup. Have interviewed, gone through the process, hired, and they have their new coach ready to go.
Yeah. Didier Deschamps contemplated his future. The French people said, "You stay," and things. So we will have to be up and running. We will have to be up and doing, because once we get into March and we don't, is it between March 1 and March 20 something that we are going to name a coach? I feel we should have had somebody in by now who be looking at the profile of this team, looking at them, starting
meeting players,
talking to them. Getting their buy-in, getting their support.
And some of the players who've left, try and talk to them and see whether you can bring them up.
Joseph Pentel, Jeffrey Schlupp.
Those conversations start now. And even the newer guys, the most recent guys, Iñaki Williams and co. It's important that you have a new coach who comes in, talks to them and say, "I saw you at the World Cup.
You are still part of our plan.
You are still part of the plan. We'll try and fix." But for me, the break worries me. It really, really worries me that we haven't done that. If the FA is working in the background, please, GFA, work quickly. Work quickly, because the inaction or working quietly without telling anybody anything also doesn't help. Okay, 1,000 people have applied for the job. What is the update? Do we have the chosen 100? Is there a short list? Who is in that short list? What are you looking out for? Those kinds of things. Have you spoken to the government? What is the government saying? What's the sports ministry saying? It's important that we know all of these things, so that when you do these things, you get the buy-in of the fans. Fans know what is happening with the Black Stars. Because if by the next round of AFCON qualifiers and we don't have a coach, who is going to handle the team?
After the World Cup, they've not even seen the need. You see, I've not seen the need to even address us.
We've not had any.
$100,000.
We've not
they are telling us that if it is criminal, we should say it for them to bring it back.
Now, Ben, so for me, I think I see a pattern here. When Milo left in January, between the time he left and our next game against Nigeria, we were told that the time span was very short, and so they had to fit in Otuado just like that.
Yeah.
now I think there's a similar pattern in what happened then and now.
That what they are going to find
clearly there could be a delay, and then you could be forced to bring in another
stopgap
coach. And then it could be simple. It could be simple to tell Chris Hughton that okay, he's already here, so let's just fit him in.
Look, if we were going to do this, then we should have just done it. No, you get the point I'm making.
Nathan, for me, I think that clearly it tells you that Chris Hughton might not be the first choice. Yes, with all this delay, then it means that the GFA has,
if we wanted to hire Chris Hughton, we would have hired him
exactly.
already.
So clearly, he's not the first choice.
Chris Hughton will not accept the job on just because it's him.
Then he's not the first choice. To go down this route, then I start to lend a lot of credence to coaches. I won't call it guesswork or whatever rumor he heard, because if appointing Chris Hughton was straightforward, well, I think we would have done it months ago.
That's what I'm saying.
But clearly there is something impeding his appointment.
He is not the first choice.
Who is?
I think from what is happening behind the scenes, clearly the GFA has an interest in another coach. Negotiations with that coach.
Why isn't the GFA no longer interested in Chris Hughton?
Clearly,
the GFA. Hold on.
Okay, so
the GFA have never been interested in Chris Hughton. Let's establish that fact.
Maybe they won't be able to manipulate him.
So from the onset, we all know that Chris Hughton was more of the establishment.
Exactly.
Yes, the GFA has never. If the GFA were interested in Hughton, they would have hired him for the World Cup.
Yep. I see.
So clearly, it bought into the fact that he's not their first choice. He's more like, okay, he's there for us as a backup. Let's try and talk to other coaches. Let's try and talk to our preferred candidate.
To great coaches. Who? You remember when we appointed a 3-month committee, Dr. Randy Abe and co. When they came, they didn't get a coach. But to do the same thing. That's what they want to do.
So then, in wrapping up my points quickly, I think that I made a point. He's not the first choice here. Chris Hughton is not the first choice. The GFA.
That's your suspicion.
Yes, the GFA. No, from what has happened between December when Otto left and now,
you are making an educated guess.
The delay means that he's not their first choice coach. Their mindset is on another coach somewhere, and negotiations with that coach might have stalled. Clearly, not giving them the go ahead to name him now.
The pay masters too are saying no.
So then this delay now, because the timeline they gave us was by the end of January, and now that's timeline has changed to soon. And anytime I hear the word soon, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
You can't be
too ambiguous.
Yeah, you can't be.
If you are serious, you say soon.
I'll name a coach soon. I'll name a coach soon. Clearly tells you that
it can be 2 days, it can be 1 week, it can be 3 months, it can be 1 year.
Soon means something different for everyone.
Yeah.
It's not
soon is relative for everybody.
That's what it means.
And for me, time is clearly not on our side. Between now and our next game against Angola, we shouldn't think that it's going to be a very easy game, because
where are we going to play that game?
We'll play home, and then
where the venue for the
at the moment, CAF has approved the Cape Coast Sports Stadium. Cape Coast is the only approved stadium now.
Yeah.
But we understand that GFA is speaking to CAF to allow the game to be played at the Baba Sports Stadium in Kumasi.
They should go and do what they have to do.
You see. But
we are back at square one.
Do you remember was it 8 points or what? We had some lists that we spoke about a few months of the things they needed to do to fix them.
No, they didn't do.
If not done it,
have you seen?
you want
We are back here.
Conclude for me. Let me take you to sports.
So for me, I think if it's Chris Hughton, we have 5 or 6 weeks to go. Clearly, they need to give the job to him as soon as possible, because, as Nathan said, we need to get some players into the Black Stars as soon as possible. Joseph Pentil, we need him back. The likes of Jeffrey Schlupp, Iñaki. The new coach needs to get the players on board, his plan, his philosophy. Ghanaians also need to scrutinize who is coming on board.
We need to know the captain and change the leadership style of the team.
I don't think we're going to change our captain. No, coach. I don't think our new coach will touch Andrea Yu as our captain now.
But do you think he should be starting for the Black Stars?
Let me move it on. Let's move it on. Conclude your points. Let me move it.
Yeah, so for me, if they're not getting their first choice, then they should give it to Chris Hughton ASAP, and let's move on. As simple as that.
So you get the final word on this. Your sentiments on this whole non-hiring of the coach.
I think everything that needs to be said has been said. They are messing up. It's taking too long. There's a clear lack of planning. And if it's not a lack of planning and they have a plan and now they are letting politics cloud it, they are wasting all our time. Because at the end of the day, it's not a personal project. People, the truth is, when we won, right now as we are sitting here, when we won our first 4 AFCONs, can anyone name the GFA presidents then? Are people saying that, oh, this person was GFA president? No one is saying that. People remember the head coach. They remember the players who played. But people are not going to remember the GFA president. So it's public service. You're not doing it for your name because people are not going to remember. In fact, people are more likely to remember you when you fail because they'll be looking for someone to fail, to someone to blame.
Yep.
Exactly. So let's move this thing on. Honestly, they are wasting everybody's time. They knew we're not going to have a coach at the end of the World Cup. They should have started looking before the World Cup. Simple as that. By the end of the World Cup, they should have said, this is our next head coach. Because that's what serious people do. When you know someone is leaving, you have forewarning. You hire the next person to come and do their job. Unless you are saying their job is not an important job. So you don't need to hire anyone. Because that's what they are trying to tell me if they haven't hired a coach by now. Because it's very simple. You are running something. So it's very unserious. Before the other things you've talked about, like, look, it's very disappointing. And honestly, it's frustrating because you can't come here and always be complaining about the GFA. We want the Black Stars though. We don't hate anyone at the GFA.
It's embedded in their DNA. The act of failing is part of them.
Coach, these are the things that will make them feel like we hate them.
No, not hate them.
Let me read a few messages coming through. This one here. Let's go all the way to the top. Let me go all the way to the top. Lipu Mama says, good evening, great show. No one wants to buy Liverpool and Klopp is still at post. Team no dear, are you beans? Lipu Mama says,
what is this? What is this?
What's that?
That is Klopp still up.
But she's
what
not,
has Klopp done?
Klopp is supervising back-to-back 3-0 defeats. That's what he's done. That is what Klopp has done. Klopp looks...
They won't sack him.
Let me tell you. Me, Where they mean Yabutre? Asem where they mean Yabutre. Let me tell you something. Charlie, has anybody been listening to Jurgen Klopp after Liverpool like defeats?
No, Klopp is never the nicest person.
You will listen to 10 minutes of talking about nothing. Like grammar, sentences just being chained together. You won't make any sense out of it.
He even stopped listening, talking. He said the journalist went to write something he didn't like. So when the journalist asked him questions, the guy shouldn't talk to him.
If at post-game presses, we, the journalists and the fans, can't make sense of what you are saying. Imagine the players whom you've been saying the same things to for 7 years. They will not. You will not motivate anybody.
Liverpool need to refresh the team. No, the high tempo football. Beginning with the coach. Relax. The high tempo football there is nice. It will be played, but you can't play it with James Milner, Jordan Henderson, and Naby Keita. Who this week I heard granting interviews and say he's considering his future. Hey,
who Milner?
No, Naby Keita.
Of course. But if he's an unserious player and he has realized that the team he's with is more unserious than him. See,
today Naby Keita is flexing.
I'm telling you that for the fact that Liverpool is playing Naby Keita for the kind of performances he's given and he's available, it shows that Liverpool is not a serious team. Liverpool have not tried to replace Naby Keita. You brought this. Let me finish it. No, I'm serious. You brought this. Let me finish. Look, Liverpool are clearly joking.
Ben.
Nathan, Liverpool's problem, I've told you the solution. It is two things. You are either going to go down the Chelsea route where you are doing a mass clear out and you are bringing in mass recruitments to solve the problem you have, or you are firing the current head coach to look for a different direction because this voice has been saying the same thing to players for 7 years. Look, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter how motivated you are. If somebody has been telling you the same things for 7 years, you are browbeating. You will not listen to
you. And I agree on a certain. You and I agree on the principle of change.
So which one?
You don't agree that the coach should change.
Now we have to decide who leaves. Is it Klopp?
Klopp should leave. When I say the Klopp should leave, people say things like Klopp should leave so that who will come?
Honestly,
some managers, they are managers.
Honestly,
there are so many managers.
I don't believe that if they get rid of Klopp, they'll get an upgrade. But at the same time, which is easier to replace, one manager or 20 players?
You see, if you look at what's happening, he's been trying to freshen this team up. I understand it may not happen quickly, but if I look at the acquisitions of Diaz, Jota,
Gakpo, right now he's letting people insult Gakpo. Right now because of his shortcomings, people are saying that Gakpo is
teams upset. But
Nathan, I think it's time for Klopp. It's time for Klopp.
7 years.
You have been holding brief for him.
Defended him, sir.
We'll lend him to you. You can have him, and you can give us the
hand. He can. He won't.
No, but who do you want? If Nathan is in support, no, he says he like Klopp, so he needs to take Klopp, and then we can have the hand.
I'm saying that all of us understand that something must change.
Yeah.
But you see, I look at it and I go like, okay, so if Liverpool get rid of Klopp, okay, why are you getting rid of him? Because of poor results.
Oh, total if you ready.
I mean,
and that's the bit that's the narrative that people are pushing that I don't like.
People keep saying that
so if clubs will go so that who
Tuchel can easily handle this thing. But you see, the point is that Ben, I'm saying that Liverpool can get rid of Klopp. Probably they should. But you see, over time or very quickly, this new manager it's not like Liverpool have depth in terms of two full squads.
Has an history. He has history.
Yeah. 7 years.
The 7-year case is real.
Dortmund. Banza. Liverpool. Zuku. Banza.
You see, small message I was going to read. It has turned into a whole breakdown. You see what a bad team does to you. You see what a bad team does to you. You don't go just read message right now. You have to diagnose your problem.
You read the message.
Let me go to the message. Jude says the way rival fans believe City would lose at Spurs and United, but would smash Arsenal 3-0 at the Emirates baffles my mind. We are praying City is not punished by the FA. We don't want a charity EPL. We want to win. No, I'm with them. I'm with them. You need to talk up your stuff.
You know why? You know why PG is saying that every time we do midweek games, he said Arsenal fans text us and show us your confidence. I say, oh, we're not in the title.
But you're not. So what are you doing?
Ebenezer from Nungwa says, God willing, Arsenal is going to win against Brentford. Martinelli and Nketiah will be among the scorers. Good evening, Ben and team. I beg to say this. I beg.
Let's move on.
Oh, Charlie.
Charlie.
Charlie. See, some of you should be serious. Honestly, let me just move this on. You want to just introduce yourself with this? I'm with you, my This one says, I pray and hope Atsu will still be found alive. I'm also happy that Atsu got off to a banger in Saudi Arabia. When people hate you and they will say anything, even when you score 10 goals, they will find I won't listen to anything. All of you, your microphones are off. Ronaldo scored 4 goals, and that's what matters.
When you look at the other star players, how many of them have scored even 5 goals in 2023? They haven't scored it.
What are the goalies? I haven't seen it.
Keeper, I haven't seen it. Dress it to Mokodobe. Say I know Opolemia. Mama will assist good.
Sorry. I said
Ronaldo scored 4 goals. Period.
I said, this guy.
The keeper knows.
I see the keeper. I said, but this guy, if he enter some phone shop, you go see him for his eye.
Honestly. So I saw Ronaldo has scored 2, and I was with my girlfriend. I said, I'm looking at this team's place on the table. This game you can score 4 easily. Yeah. All I see is scored 4 goals. Like
why you get easy to leave for bank?
The team are like 13th or 14th out of 18. And so I think our NASA were at home. So Charlie,
Daddy Sue.
I like the fact that for the first time in a long while they are happy. But it is the goalkeeper that they are happy that they've beaten.
No, then 6. Keeper ne, man with 6.
See, let's not do this.
No, but on the more
serious, 2 Kubanza.
On the more serious, you know, when I saw the video of the first goal, I looked at it. As for what I said to myself, I won't repeat it here. But all I did, I just shook my head.
Nathan, behave. Let me read more messages. This one here says, "White Chaco inside Bowie. Say, how many times have you seen a big side winning their matches on early kickoff? In case you have forgotten, just last week, those who claim they are going to win the league lost their game, which was an early kickoff against a struggling Everton side. Please, my humble request, I want you to pause the show, switch off all the machines, and begin to think about how Chelsea Football Club is going to win their match tomorrow. Leeds United should get prepared for us. Glory, glory, Man United. Greetings to Prophet Wano. I think that's what you want to say. Nitojo from Tema Newtown says, if you take up an office and fail to deliver on your mandate, the best and honorable thing to do is to resign and let others take up the mantle.
Finish.
Moses.
In Ghana, we don't resign.
Ghana resign.
In Ghana, we don't resign. In Ghana, we don't
There's a lot of people should be resigning in this country.
I'm telling you.
In Ghana, we don't resign.
Moses Kofino from Ablekoma says, let's remember Christian Atsu in prayers. And so I say, this is Wache 6 CDs. Shitongwa. Oh, Charlie, greetings from East Legon. It says, especially to Ni Aba. Oh, Charlie, it says, on my way to Accra, Mall, guess what? The car I'm in, the driver is listening to Sports Panorama, and he's a fan of Sports Panorama. He's telling me he can't miss the show for anything, guys. His name is Baba. And his car number is GW779521. Guys, big him up now. He's listening.
Baba,
I'm sure Baba is listening live.
Baba do.
Charlie, this one says, good evening, guys. Jeff from Medina, I pray Atsu is found alive. Okay. This one also coming through from Nanayao in Sam. He says, according to one ESCO member, the FA have found the next coach. Now they are now talking about his salary. Well, it's taking too long. Dramani inside KJB says, good evening to you guys. It's hard to believe that Atsu has still not been found. I pray we find him alive. Lambert from Dodoa says, my thoughts and prayers are with Atsu and his family. May God look on him with favor. I have tried to avoid all publications about him since the mistaken identity issues. This episode is a painful one. We still trust God. This one says, Ben, please update us on how the NBA is shaping up after yesterday's trade deadline. Cheat code from Senya Breku. Nice one. Daniel Yoruba from Medina says, how many years left with the FA president to go?
We'll be voting somewhere in September, October.
Yeah. That'll be the end of the first term.
First term. A shield position. Voted out. Incompetence at its highest degree.
Who said first?
No more. Incompetent. He failed. Blaster. No fail.
This one here. Is it Ben? Good evening. Starboy from La Paz says the FA is not helping us cry. Any serious FA by now should have given us a coach. So if they can't get us one right now, then they should take Coach Chris as our new Black Stars coach. We are fully supporting him.
My coach is I will be honest with my selection.
Thank you.
I'm actually simple.
Oh, thank you. And you also admit that goals and assists matter in football.
Of course.
Okay.
Oh, your hand forward pass and multiple bench.
Some people were telling us that in football, goals and assists don't really matter.
But coach, Captain Andre, hello.
Oh, that be my chakile no one. My chakile no one.
I say, Ahinkra Michael from Amazing Fiapre in Sunyane says, Ben, please tell Coach Numo Chris, what is the Ga word for chromosome? That's an interesting one. And that says, Coach Nimley is always overly critical of the Black Stars and the FA. Sometimes he exaggerates and makes it seem like Ghana is supreme in world football, so they don't have to fail in any tournament. Kofi, I'm telling you that even if we were...
I want to respond to Kofi.
Please respond to him for me.
We're not saying we have to win everything, but we can see where you can do better. That's all.
And we've seen what we used to be.
It's not even about what we used to be.
We were one kick away from the semi-final.
It's not even about
the Black Stars level.
It's not even about what we've seen. We understand that football comes and goes in waves. You can't be good forever. But we know we can
do the right thing.
Do the right things to put you in a position to win.
If Ghana loses to Comoros and you want us to be okay, then please, we cannot be okay.
These are your standards, Kofi. Don't do this.
Even Gabon, let's be honest, Gabon the only team should have lost to that last AFCON was Morocco.
Yep.
And even that one, we didn't go and play in that match. So if we I don't even want to get on.
This one says, the act of failure is in their blood. I love Ni Aba, very educated show, lads. This one is from Edubois from Mankesim. Says the GFA is intentionally trying not to appoint a coach early so they can appoint a coach late to be able to. Let me just leave that. Nathan says Thomas Tuchel is in line. Let's wait. Nathan says, okay, Thomas Tuchel is in line. Let's wait and see. Hot Tea Bread says, I'm surprised we think anything good will begin to happen in Ghana football. Nothing good enough will happen in the next 13 to 15 years. Hey, Charlie, your timeline there. Oh, wow. Mark my words. Okay. It says it's Ni Aba Jr.
No, but you see,
Charlie.
But talking about things happening in football, right? Have we seen how Morocco?
Yeah.
Senegal.
Ben, we have colleagues there. This afternoon I was chatting with one of our colleagues. Earlier today, and I sent him a message. I asked him, "How are you doing? How is Morocco?" He said, "I'm in Morocco, and every time they take me to a new place to see what they do in terms of football, I get very angry."
Of course,
you will get angry. Because look, we get
not go and share $100,000.
We get FIFA forward money all the time.
You are chopping the money.
Ask yourself that in the last 4 years, what do we have to show for the FIFA forward money that we've taken?
Nothing significant.
We've gone to
we started borehole project. I think we should even start doing some, going around to check out
I
those
am
boreholes.
working on his manifesto.
I need a
I have my copy. Every single thing he said he will do.
Please lend it to me when you
next week in Kababa.
Thank you very much, Nia. Thank you, Ni.
We should give you another 30.
Honestly, some of these things they are basic. They are basic. Something like
pitches.
What? Let's not even go into something like a stadium. A stadium is a place that there's toilets. People come, like all sorts of. It should have running water. What if there's a medical emergency and there's no running water? What if there's a fire and there's no running water? So if you say, okay, you want to do boreholes for every stadium, it's a great idea. But as we've pointed out, when did he become GFA president? And he was supposed to put boreholes at every stadium. Wasn't that?
He said, I'll do it.
So why?
Now, one of his major legacy is to cancel honorarium.
And now you're even sharing it.
And sharing $100,000 per management.
Look, as for those ones, I'm even more concerned, right, about the simple bolts and nuts, right, of just developing football and growing the game.
Nathan,
you see, when countries do well, they don't do well because they have this magic wand and then Ben, what's the spell in Harry Potter? Axio success. So you call success and then success comes. No. It is work. Where Morocco are today, they have worked for it.
They planned for it. They implemented the plan.
They put money in it and they implemented. Look at Senegal. It is not by chance that they've won CHAN, they've won AFCON,
beach football,
beach soccer. It's not by chance.
They were $100,000.
You see, so we have to understand that. But then, and all over the world, when I look at the African stories, I look at the European stories, I look at the South American stories, I look at the North American stories, the principles are the same. People planned, people invested, they took time, they fine-tuned the process, and in the end, it worked. So why are we not also trying to
copy free of charge?
Just copy. How are we in this town? How are we in this town? We are playing a Bet Power Ghana Premier League. Look at the state of the pitch.
Charlie, let me tell you something. Every time I watch the Bet Power Premier League, right, I'm playing a game of where is the ball. When I'm watching
you can see.
I cannot see the ball. Like I'm like, hey, Nabo anyway.
You are just
the player is like, to open my eyes. I'm like, hey, Nabo anyway.
You can even talk about so many other things. Something like even you want people to be interested in the league. Why would you give an exclusive contract to Star Times? That's a paid subscription service. There's no game on GTV. You don't even have one game a week on GTV for people to watch.
Yep.
All those things contribute to people not being interested.
Apart from Accra Sports Stadium in Kumasi, every other venue is filled.
Okay, Chris, even if that were true, why is it that people are not going to watch the games in Accra and Kumasi? It is a worry. It is really a worry because this is the product that you can control. You cannot control the English Premier League. You can't control La Liga. This one you can control. And yet, when you go and watch Hearts of Oak and Legon Cities, if you have time, you can count everybody from one to the last number and count again.
Hearts of Oak player picks up the ball and is going to score. A Dreams FC player is coming from behind. 1-on-1 the goalkeeper. He whacks the Hearts of Oak player. And the referee says, play on. Such referee should be sanctioned and punished, never given the chance to come closer to our football again.
See, we've been to 4 World Cups.
Yep.
And when you ask the GFA, what significant thing have we done with our World Cup money? It's so sad.
Nothing.
We don't have anything to show for this.
The World Cup money is heavy.
Very heavy. Half of that money will be huge investment for football.
I just saw one of the facilities the Moroccan Federation have put up, and apparently it cost just a little over $1 million. I can assure you that in the 4 years that this FA has been in power, they've seen definitely over $1 million.
How many the management members? Money. How many are they? I think there are 7.
Charlie.
So I hear that Stevie Appiah didn't go. So only 100 go. 100, 600,000. 600,000 is 50%, almost slightly 50, more than 50%.
That's significant work you can do with that kind of money. Well,
then you get your political boys to be writing articles on people. I'm a ready to write proper articles articles about me.
Honestly speaking, Ghana football is in shambles. We need
it's about investment, investing back into the sport. I think that's one basic thing that people are just not doing.
When the one leading the team speaks to Ghanaians anyhow.
So I'm being told that there's actually a free-to-air game every match day. There's a free-to-air game.
No, but those games, how often do you get to see the top teams play?
As you see,
don't give you so much with that.
As for the top teams, you see, even the Premier League free-to-air package that comes to Africa, because maybe there's a wider pool. Every 2 to 3 months, you get to see one Man United game. That's okay. Look, my concern is not even that. My concern, as somebody who follows the Bet Power Ghana Premier League, right?
Where is the development money?
Yeah, I'm coming.
Where is the marketing and promotion that they said they'll do for them?
I'm coming there.
Even the free to air, where's the advertisements for that free to air game?
Coming there. And I was about to ask a question.
You're looking for 1 million.
No, listen,
where is the promotion money they said they'll use?
In our context, $1 million is a lot of money.
Yeah.
You see, you say you want people to go and watch Premier League. And I always say that 2-3 years ago, even at the height of COVID, were people not going to the ground?
Well, we're giving 25% attendance.
People went to the point where a Heart of Oak Olympics and people tore the gates down. Yeah. Meaning that
Pichichi nearly died that day.
Meaning that if you sell people something attractive, they will buy it.
Yep.
But look, I took my wife to watch a Ghana Premier League game. This was like 2 years ago. That back then we were going out. You know, I was making moves.
It's okay.
See, and we went to watch Legon Cities, and I can't remember which team, but it was Legon Cities.
Yeah.
And they did this halftime entertainment thing. And she was excited. Yeah. You know, she said, "Is this how much fun you people have when you come to watch games?" I tell her that this is a little new, but you see, that is somebody who got hooked by the halftime entertainment.
She could tell you, sweetheart, let's go back there.
But you see, now we don't even. Have you ever heard a Ghana Premier League game advert on radio before?
No.
Not on public radio, not on private radio. And yet, when 10 people show up to watch a game at the stadium,
when the FA talks about promotion, they talk about giving money to Wendy Shea and Shatawale to come and perform at halftime.
The said, "Did you watch the Hearts of Oak RTU game? The camera captures one side of the stadium. One side."
Chris, I'm saying that even if in Tamale the fans go to watch, they've not had football in Tamale in years, so they will go. My concern is that at the Accra Sports Stadium, 10 people show up, 15 people show up, 50 people. It is not good enough. Simply because there is no reason for
there's no promotion.
Yes, there's no promotion.
No, zero.
We are not doing enough to sell the game. And I'm saying that if the GFA thinks that the Ghana Premier League is not attractive, they should watch clips from 2 years ago. Look, I said the league, the first title that Samuel Bodu won for us that season.
Yeah.
I'm saying it here, and anybody can doubt me. The euphoria of the league was built on the back of one club, Olympics.
Yes. Agosue. A show.
They are antics on social. They are fans.
Exchange.
Everything.
Look, I remember the day they defeated, was it House of Okoto? Oliefeko.
But the full song, I'm sorry, the full
you
song.
Can't sing the full song.
I can't sing the full song, we beg you. But the only part we can sing is Olieweko. You understand? The point is, if there is a product to sell, there will be people to buy. I think the FA always needs to remember this marketing principle. If there is a product to sell, there will be people to buy.
They are not ready to work and sell the. They are ready to pound.
Bet Power.
I'm surprised you're still asking for that $1 million.
Bet Power dropped a lot of. When the sponsorship deal came, and a lot of the reasons why we've been. You see, it's not that when we cry that our league has no headline sponsor. It's not like we like to see a headline sponsor. Like a headline sponsor is there, decorative. No. A headline sponsor is supposed to markedly improve the quality of your league. It's supposed to make people want to watch your league.
The English Premier League has not had a headline sponsor for how many seasons?
I think over 5-6 years.
Good. Has it failed? It hasn't. Why? Because it is somebody who say that example is far-fetched. My counter to you is that because they have sat down to think about everything, nothing is done amiss. There is no guesswork.
The fact that they can thrive and be at this level without the headlines for that to tell you how great the product is.
Me, you see, wanting to sponsor your league so that I will get the necessary mileage that I will get. Then you turn around and say that I should take the money and go and market the thing. Who does that? Which correct thinking, business-minded technocrat would sign such an agreement? No more
The $1 million for publicity. I've asked that question over and over. I've even asked the Bet Power people. There was no answer.
The Bet Power people themselves couldn't tell you.
There is no answer to that.
I'm saying
question.
There
is no answer.
$1 million is no joke money.
It's 1.3.
Ben, do we? You see, in Ghana, and Godfrey Akotoba for our senior says something. He says something every day on the morning show. He says, in Ghana, we mention the amounts as if they are like change.
If
we are going to do a project, how much we are spending? 50 million euros.
If an American man gives you $100,
they will make sure you account for it.
What?
Charlie. Let's talk about the Premier League this weekend, because Chelsea have early kickoff headaches to deal with. They are away as well. West Ham United have had their own struggles this season. Let me get into that talk real quick. So just quick thoughts on that game. West Ham, Chelsea, early kickoff. Chelsea fans say they fear the early kickoff.
The curse will continue.
Joao Felix is back in the mix.
The curse will continue.
There's nothing to fear.
There's no any case of early kickoff.
The curse will continue.
The upsets are equal with time. It's just like because there's one game at early kickoff, you are watching that one game. Don't worry. The upsets and time is all the same. There's no difference. But it will be a difficult game because they are still figuring themselves out. Yeah. And West Ham are trying to kind of get their season back on track. So it's not a position I want to be. It's not a game that really is a good game for Chelsea. For if you are still trying to get yourself together, you want a team that's a bit more chaotic than you, a bit more disordered. And David Moyes is trying to get their season back on track. They got a good draw against Newcastle last week. So I think they are feeling a bit confident. So this game, I don't know. I would say West Ham are favourites for me, but I can see a draw. If Chelsea don't win, I won't be surprised. Let me put it that way. It's going to be a very tough game for Chelsea.
Chelsea fans, they say you should bring your ammo, because anything can happen. Just quick thoughts on that one. Their new signings don't seem to have meshed together yet. I mean, it's early days, honestly, but who are you expecting to, somebody must take the bull by the horn. Exactly. Somebody must drag this team along. Who is that guy for this team?
Well, I think that once they are getting Joao Felix back, that's a huge boost for them. I think that he had
let me just give a stat. Joao Felix had the most shots on target of any Chelsea player last month.
In his debut, yeah.
No, but that's what I'm saying. He played, 60 minutes? He had more shots on target than every Chelsea player for the rest of the month.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's also what they are getting with his return. I think that one thing they need to figure out quickly is the sort of telepathy in their setup. The players are new, but their coach is not the best. That's their biggest problem now. Their problem is not about personnel. I think it's a coaching issue, as simple as that. Once they get a proper coach, it will work for them. Against West Ham, yes, West Ham themselves are struggling. They are, flirting with relegation here and there. And so with the return of Joao Felix, I think basically Chelsea are good to go, except that I still think that the Kai Havertz as a false nine system is not working. And
Kai Havertz as a footballer is not working.
Potter must look at that system again, because once something is not working, then you have to try and go for the alternative. As to whether he will play Aubameyang, I'm not sure. But I feel
Aubameyang, they are discussing a loan deal.
They are discussing his exit.
LAFC.
I think the false nine hasn't worked. Either Joao Felix goes as the centre forward in his next game, or he changes the system to a 4-2-3-1 where Kai plays behind a lone striker. Potter must make changes. He must. I know he believes in his system, that his system is working, but the players he has now are not fitting in, and he's against so much pressure. I think it's time for him to adjust, play to the strength of his players, and beat West Ham. He needs to win this game ASAP, because clearly their dream of playing Champions League football, as they drop points, then clearly things are going bad for them. The last time they won a game away from home was all the way back in October last year. That tells you how difficult it's been for him to get points away from home. And so he knows what's at stake for him. He has to make sure he gets the best from his players by playing to their strengths. False line system not working. He has to change ASAP. Mudryk, I think he's shown some sort of brilliance. He just needs to get his teammates to play with him. I think Chelsea can win this one. I disagree with Susu that West Ham are favourite. I think Chelsea are favourite. And if they have a good day, Joao Felix should do some magic for them to win this
After all
game.
the things you said, the coach is not, the system is not working.
But you still say they are favourites. It just does there. Get to Arsenal versus Brentford. Arsenal stumbled last weekend. They really looked out of sorts in that game. Coach, you saw the Gunners last weekend. Very unlike what we've become accustomed to this season. Was that a minor blip nobody should be worried about? Or it's getting to that point in the season where maybe we should start caring a little bit about such indicators?
I think before I comment on that, if you look at what actually happened in the Man City game, then you want to say that they shouldn't be worried. Okay. Because they still have their lead intact with even an outstanding game yet to play to stretch the lead forward. So I think everything is on track. I want to believe that Sean Dykes, even those days when he was at Burnley, he used to create problems for Arsenal anytime they came to play them away from home. But again, it is at the Emirates. Look, they've been solid at the Emirates. I think they are yet to lose a game at the Emirates. So you want to fancy them against this Brentford. But Brentford themselves could be a very, very stubborn opposition to deal with. I think Arsenal will have to go into this game.
They've had a few skirmishes, both teams, in recent times.
Exactly. So Arsenal have to go into the game being very patient, waiting for the moment to pounce. If they go thinking that they can just go out there and get an early goal, if they don't take care, if Brentford were to get any form of advantage like we saw happen at Old Trafford in midweek, then they'll be in serious, serious trouble. Going forward, they should always have that double header in mind against Man City. So whatever they need to do tactically, technically, practically to ensure that they have some form of lead that may not come down crumbling when they meet Man City in that back, because it is like coming Wednesday's week, the first round of that Man City back-to-back game will be played. So you don't want to do anything.
Is this Wednesday?
No, I think it's on the 15th.
It's Wednesday.
15th.
Yes,
Now Man City.
Yes, it's coming Wednesday.
Coming Wednesday.
Yes.
Okay, coming Wednesday.
Yeah.
Then it means that they have to be very, very careful not to blow the opportunity. So I expect them to go and beat.
I think the challenge Arteta faces now is what team does he present over this weekend with that Wednesday game in mind?
He should go with the strongest team.
I mean, luckily they've added a few players here and there, so it's not like he can overhaul the squad. But I think, Chris, I think about it critically and say, okay, what team does he present this weekend? Because there's that game against Man City on Wednesday.
I think he should present his strongest team. I think if they are playing on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, the game is on Wednesday. They have enough time to rest.
Just worry about what is in front of you presently.
Man City themselves cannot afford.
The Man City play Villa.
Yeah, and they cannot afford to even rest.
That's a tricky game for them.
They cannot afford to even rest any of their play. And they play even on Sunday. So if I'm Arteta, I'll go with my strongest line.
Let me see if I can read a few more messages before we wrap it up here. Okay, so basically, Sicho is basically telling us again that there's a free game to air on TV, on Max TV, but we're talking about national television,
So which means that there is a free game every week.
Yeah.
It's just on Max. But these days, Max and things, they are easily accessible.
They are on. They are if you scan on your
yeah. So you know,
more like
Okay, so we'll give them that.
Shout out to Sicho.
But you see, at least if
shout out to
Sicho doesn't need to be doing your PR work for you.
But
this is something you should be putting out there.
Incompetence at the highest degree.
Oh, Iradi. This one here is hello guys, good evening. Greetings to Coach aka Niaba. Please reminding you guys about the road show at Ayikuma. My phone is still not ranged.
He wants us to come there.
Where's Ayikuma?
Ayikuma down the Dodowa Road somewhere. Yeah. Since there's a pub there called the Yen Kong Kong pub. The name is very dangerous. So a good slate of games this weekend for us in the EPL to enjoy. Just quick shout outs before we sign off on the show here, Coach.
Oh, no more. In your shout out, the first one
Manchester match.
Goes to a very beautiful lady. A very, very beautiful lady.
Beautiful Lily.
Yeah, Esther. Ajibia.
Charlie, wait, coach, the way coach has dipped his voice just for the
Esther Ajibia. Today happens to be her birthday.
Oh, Charlie, Esther, why you nina?
She's at the Castle Road Shell. You see the Shell filling station just by the reach thereabout.
Yeah.
Esther
Ajibia, very, very beautiful.
Oh,
Esther,
nice.
happy birthday. And it's from the Sports Panorama team, most especially from Coach Nimley. And the good Lord bless you. May He make sure you grow to be a wonderful, wonderful lady.
Amen.
So happy birthday.
Amen.
So let my guys do their shout out, and I'll do my last shout out, and then I go.
I don't know when this shout out has to go around the table for a quick shout, Pichichi. Quick shout.
I want to give a shout out to Professor Akosia Dakwa. She's one of my mom's working partners. They do fitness together. So
hard.
I want to give
Professor Akosia Dakwa.
Yes.
Once it's on Panorama, she'll hear it. Prof.
Her son is also an avid listener of the show.
That'll be all.
He's Coach Nini's former student.
Oh, Charlie. Yeah. Prof. Okay. Big shout outs to you.
This one was sent to me by Anio Sabute, our very good friend. And he says, shout out to my new Asafwache. Jamban the 4th of Osheku Wing, Osheku House of Pram.
Yeah.
So there's a new Asafwache.
Yeah, I think I saw pictures of that.
I don't think Anu Sabute is the Asafwache though.
No, his
Asafwache.
But Anu Sabute for do party if Arsenal win the league. No, I tell him this one. It be harmless.
But I'm sure he would. He suffered for 19 years.
Yeah, I need. Please, I've told you. I've told Kokwi what she must do when they win the league. This is your some barbecue.
Arsenal win the league.
Yeah,
what about the Arsenal go win now?
They go win. I mean, I need for start to tell the Abuchi say the goats for make ready. Thank you very much.
My shout out to my boss, Ishmael Mate.
Oh, Charlie.
Ishmael Mate.
Oh, Charlie.
I was with him at Radio Universe. He's getting married.
Hey, no.
February 18.
February
18. It's about to go down. It's about to go down.
Another one off the market.
Exactly. And later you. So,
but what is the meaning of all this?
All these slide tackles that have been happening lately.
Do my last, then I'll give you your share. Then we go. Hello. Look, you see, anytime I come on scorecard, and the cameras are on Coach Nimley, people look at me and they say, Charlie, you look good.
You look good, man.
I look good, man.
Oh, man.
Look, I owe it to the people at Extreme Cuts.
You mean
Extreme Cuts? Jack, Bismarck, Pascal. I say I owe it to them. Get on the Fulani Road. You
mean they are the reason for your fresh boy look?
They are the reason for my fresh boy look.
Oh, Charlie.
And the motto is simple.
Nice one.
When you look good,
you feel
it brings
good.
you good luck.
Oh, Charlie!
When you look good, it brings you what? Good luck. That is extreme.
Thank you.
No more.
Coach.
I can't have a share.
What's going on?
Somewhere Ziga. Menenke Ziga peninkele. Nke Ziga mebo ya. Eke netaiti. Fentio Tahiru.
This show is over.
The show is not over.
The show is not over.
Eke no more Kemo Benjamin Ketia. No one Ketia min Kebo. Obeshe. Besho.
Listeners, thank you for listening to the show tonight.
I can't come back for 4H.
I don't.
This show is over. Thank you very much, Coach Christopher Nimley there. Susu Graham.
I agree fully with Coach. I don't understand, but I agree.
You agree with what?
I agree.
Thank you very much, Evans Ofochumansu, aka Pichichi. Thank you to Nathan Kwa as well, to Edwin, Rita, and everybody who helped. And thank you also, ultimately, to the listeners of the show and those of you who watch us via live stream. Those of you who join us on Twitter and social media, we appreciate it. Show will be up on SoundCloud very soon. The Premier League preview show comes up right after this. My name is Benjamin Nketia. Show proudly brought to us by Betway and Good Day Energy Drink. It's been absolutely amazing coming your way. Same time next week we'll be here. Show will be up on SoundCloud soon. Enjoy.